Alright everybody, welcome to this session that we're going to do now. We've currently got two of Australia's top female pickleball players. We've got Danni-Elle Townsend and Katy Hart with us, and my name's Ryan Henry. I'm the Managing Director of Voyager. So yeah, excited to bring this to you guys today. Just got a few questions for both the girls. It's ahead of the MLPA event coming up, the PPA event coming up in Melbourne, so we're actually all in the car together on the way from the airport to sunny Frankston. So welcome to the call, girls.
Cheers, good to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks for driving us.
Yeah, no worries. You know it's going to come at a price, right? So. No, all good. So I might start off with you, Danni. Do you want to go through your just a really brief background of what you did prior to pickleball and how that relates to your playing style?
Yeah, I've been playing table tennis since I was 6 months old. Grew up in a family table tennis household. All my family play. Been on the national team since I was around 12. And since then, just got into pickleball with my mum and stepdad, started playing, and now I'm addicted and pretty much pickleball full time.
Yeah, nice. And so obviously you bring being in the national team for pickleball, you've obviously got an incredible competitive spirit. One thing I've noticed with table tennis players is the fast reflexes and fast hands. Like how do you feel like that's translated into your pickleball game?
Yeah, I feel like that I've got skills that not other people can develop so easily. Like, it wasn't a direct transfer, but I think once I worked it out for myself, I had a one-handed backhand, which not many of the girls really have, and just the ability to take balls out of the air, have a little bit longer reach on that backhand side is quite effective. Yeah, nice. Do you find the technique is similar in any way? Like, so if I go to talk to Katy in a moment about more of a tennis background, but do you find the technique is somewhat similar in terms of getting topspin on the ball? Yeah, so I think once at the kitchen line, a lot of the stuff over the net with volleys and everything, and doubles especially, is very similar to table tennis. Since the distance from the kitchen line to the other is almost identical to the table tennis table, and the net height is the same as a table tennis table height. Not the same height as the net, but the actual table surface is the same as the net. So it feels pretty similar with like the dimensions and everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. And we'll go to Katy now. Katy, talk us through a bit of your background and your start in pickleball.
Yeah, so I grew up playing tennis since I was 5 on the Gold Coast. I came from a really sporty family. No other tennis players, but cricket, rugby, swimming, running. So I grew up in a real athletic household, which we did a lot of different activities growing up. And I was training tennis till I was 19, the end of 2022 with Mike. And he slowly transferred me to pickleball due to just I had too many injuries, so I couldn't really keep playing tennis without hurting myself every few months. So that's why I made the switch, and it's been a great experience so far.
Yeah, nice. And what were the things that you found easy with pickleball, like in terms of transferring from tennis, and what are the things that you found more difficult?
Yeah, so I think like from the baseline, your drives are real simple, and especially moving forward towards the net. As a tennis player, I enjoyed the net, so your high volleys, your drive volleys, anything like that was really easy for me. Coming into pickleball, obviously we struggled with the soft game and your slices and your drops because I never really used that in my tennis game. My tennis game was all just about hitting the ball hard, getting into the net. I never really had to use any of my touch and feel skills and slices, so that was a big development changing into pickleball. Being able to drop and then dink at the kitchen line was definitely out of my comfort zone for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. I can certainly relate to that for sure. Yeah, it's definitely one of the big challenges for tennis players is just getting it's just such an unusual style of point where you're basically playing like, I don't know if you ever played a game called Butts Up. That's the only thing that kind of I can relate to pickleball, where everyone was sort of in the service line playing points. But certainly a real challenge there for tennis players. But definitely on the upside, the drives and some of those other drive volley plays are definitely conducive to pickleball too. So Cool. I'll switch it back over to Danny. So one of the things that I think you see a lot with pickleball, you see tennis players having some really early success in singles, and part of the reason for that is it's just the footwork patterns. You've got good, driving is natural, coming to the net, all of those sorts of things. But table tennis, I would say, would be quite different from singles. And I know early on, when I first saw you playing some singles, it wasn't your strength, but more recently, you made final at nationals.
Yeah.
Almost took it out. I saw it was really tight 3 sets against Mickey, who's one of the best singles players in the ladies game. What have you been doing, I guess, to improve that? Because I just saw significant improvement in your game in that area.
Yeah, I started. I never really trained singles or even practiced it early on, as every time I felt like I would even try and practice singles, it's taking away time from doubles, which I generally usually more so just enjoyed practicing doubles, as it was just more comfortable for me. And then recently I started hitting with one of the girls, Sarah, like once or twice a week, doing singles practice, and would also just she only just started up, but she came from tennis, so she already was quite strong in singles. And it was really good just hitting with her. And then recently I've been thinking about doing the fitness stuff at a tennis academy, just signing up for that so I can get more used to the footwork and just how it is on the body, because I feel singles kind of takes it out of me a little bit. But that's kind of what I've been working on recently, and just changing the way I kind of approach the game, because I'm never going to be able to have the same amount of reps as the other girls have in these ground strokes since they've been playing tennis for so many years. So I kind of have to think of a way around it and play a little bit differently to them and work out what's best for me.
Nice. And do you try and come forwards more as a result?
Yeah, I try to come forwards and make more opportunities. I'm quite tall. I think I cover the kitchen line pretty well, but these girls have really good passing shots, of course. And I don't know, it's just about placement, I find, is more effective than me than just blasting and hitting the ball as hard as I can. Trying to use what I have, such as spin, to help me out a little bit.
Yeah, nice. Good stuff. It's been great to see you really progress in that area, and obviously it helps too for the dream breakers in the league as well. All right, and so we'll go switching back to Katy there. So Katy, you're a left-hander. I think we've come up against each other twice, and I always find it really awkward playing a lefty-righty combination. What do you think the benefits are of being a left-hander, and why is it an advantage to being a lefty in this game?
I think as a lefty female, I actually hold probably a better advantage than a lefty male. It just allows me and my partner to both have forehands in the middle. My shots are going to travel in different directions to a right-hander. If I have a forehand middle, my comfort zone will be going in the opposite direction to where a right-hander who has a forehand in the middle is. And that's just not what people are used to. When people pop up certain balls, they sort of have expectations to where it's going. And I think as a lefty, we break those expectations and we fully change how the game's played. I think there's a big advantage for people who get to train with a lefty. Obviously down in Sydney, I don't think you get to train with many lefties down there. So we're at home, we've got a few more lefties to train with. So I'm beginning to get used to playing with lefties. When I was growing up playing tennis, I was the only lefty ever who it was at the training session. So I never really got used to playing lefties either. So lots of people think just because I'm left-handed, it's easier to play lefties. It's definitely not. We're so used to playing right-handers as well. It's just a different game. Playing a lefty is just, you got to really concentrate on where you put the ball more and things like that.
Yeah, it's a good point. Certainly in tennis, it's a big advantage to being a lefty because all the spins are the opposite. Pickleball, I've found that quite amazing how big a difference it makes when you're playing a lefty. So what you're saying is when you're attacking your forehand through the middle, I'm assuming you're saying the right-hander will naturally probably go inside in, and you're doing the same thing, which is the opposite.
Yeah. So I'm coming across at that player on the left side who's probably not used to that ball coming to them, and especially in women's doubles, I think it works well because and mixed, but that left-handed player is usually sitting closer to the middle, so they leave a bit of that line for me to sort of go inside into.
Yep, definitely. And does it help on the serving points with forehands as well? Like you got a first ball forehand or anything through the centre, being able to have the choice as to who strikes it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it works for us, especially mixed. Either of us can take the drop or the drive in the middle, and the other one can crash because we're both crashing forehand and we're both dropping and driving forehand if that return comes through the middle. So I think it just opens up a whole different realm of plays for sure.
Yeah, nice. Good stuff there. All right, so we'll switch it back to Danni. Now, Danni, when I look at your results, you've had some exceptional results in mixed doubles. Multiple partners, pretty much taking out most events, and doubles. You've had good success, but it looks like you're really excelling in mixed at the moment. Do you want to talk through maybe why you think you're excelling in mixed at the moment? Just like to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think when I originally started playing, I had most success in women's actually, and mixed kind of is what came second to me. So then I started working on it a lot more. I think something that really helped me improve is actually going and training with Joey in Holland Park, and also Ben started really wanting to work. My coach Ben wanted to really start working on my mixed and really practicing being really unattackable, so that since usually the man is in front of me making me like a wall that they can't really get through, can't pick on. And I think my reach through cross-court dinking on the forehand is quite good, and finding good spots to attack the guy has really been helpful. And then women's, I think the thing that stopped me from kind of excelling is that I think it was a bit of unlucky, and then also just not having the same partner, been swapping it up a lot. I think if I stuck with someone for a little while and maybe worked on it together, I think it's just a little bit unlucky in those. Last year I had pretty good results in women's.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
Not this year so far.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I mean, you just it's just really noticeable with the mix. So you find that you're getting attacked a lot more in mixed doubles.
Yeah,
that's typically the way it works with it. And then and what are the differences? So in terms of you're working on being unattackable in mixed, what do you focus on when you're playing gender doubles?
Gender doubles, I try and put a lot of pressure with my movement and just being more consistent dinking. Usually in women's there's a bit more space to dink into, rather than mixed, how there's not as much space, have to be a little bit more precise with your dinking, whereas women, I think you could be a little bit more aggressive with your dinks in the sense that they can go a little bit deeper and it's not a real issue, and also give bait balls that they feel like they can attack off.
Yep.
Make them lift up a little bit and then try and counter those balls and stuff like that, since women are usually a little bit shorter and can't hit the ball quite as hard as most men.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah, it's good. And Katy, what are your experiences in the difference of mixed and gender doubles?
Yeah, so I think I played gender doubles better than mixed, so the opposite of Danni. I think in gender doubles, just being a 6-foot lefty female, I can really take a dominating control of the court and really control the points a bit better than I can in mix. Obviously in mix, you've got to let the men through and let them do what they need to do, and that's just something I'm not usually comfortable with. So I think I struggle more in mix, trying to find that balance, where in women's doubles, especially with my women's doubles partner Rose, I think we gel so well and we just sort of know where each other are, and she knows when to cover the middle and I know when to push across and be aggressive through the middle as well. And I think I play women so well because I can take a few more balls out of the air. I can reach and dink out of the air a bit more than some of the other girls can as well.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that completely makes sense, that you with your characteristics, that you can be really aggressive in gender doubles and dominate more, and then in mixed you've got to play a little bit more of a defensive role. That's good. Good insights there. All right, Danni, we'll go back to you. I know you're obviously training full time, and you're working on gender doubles, mixed, and obviously singles now as well. What are you focused on at the moment with your game?
At the moment, I've been kind of working on making my drops more variation with my drops, in the sense that picking the right time to be more aggressive with them, or just getting like lollipopping the ball in, and it doesn't have to be too good, is something that I've been working on like consistently over a long time. I've been trying to get my two-handed dink a little bit more consistent, more better, to add it in, because usually I just slice dink most of the time. That's the most things I've been working on when it comes to doubles. And then when it comes to singles, just being a little bit more confident with my two-handed backhand ground stroke, getting more spin, thinking about angles, and starting to work on volleys. And then it's just movement, working with my split step and getting the timing right for that, because that's a new thing for me. You don't move like that when it comes to table tennis. It's a lot more little jumps and steps when it comes to table tennis footwork. But I got back on the court the other day and tried to play table tennis. I had no idea how to move anymore. So that was interesting when I had a little hit with some of the kids that I coach. But yeah, now I'm just working on trying to be a little bit more explosive and athletic when it comes to singles, pushing myself a bit harder.
Yeah, nice. And when you just talk about the dinking there, so you're incorporating a two-handed backhand, so you can come over it. One of the things I observed with someone like Ben Johns, so I think for most of his career up until maybe the last year or so, he never came over his backhand dink. He basically just chipped it. Yeah. And then come out of the air, but you see him now changing that. Like, what do you think the disadvantages are of not being able to come over the backhand? Like, why do you think someone like Ben Johns has changed it? You're obviously working on it as well.
Something that I find is if you only just like slice dink, you're looking for an attack out of the air more so, because if you're slicing, they kind of have to lift up more. So then the ball is going to be more likely be able to attack out of the air. Whereas if you two-handed dink with like topspin, then you're kind of looking for more off the ground attack. So that's kind of, I want to try and add a two-handed off the ground attack a little bit more. I think that I'm actually quite good at it, but I haven't got the confidence to do it in a match yet, or feel like consistent enough that it's a viable like attack. So I'm trying to give myself that opportunity to set myself up to have that opportunity more. And I think for Ben Johns, maybe gives him more opportunities to have that attack off the bounce and put pressure on that they don't know if you're dinking or attacking. Whereas if you're slice dinking only, you're not really going to attack off the bounce with one hand.
Yeah. If you do, it's
a bit of a risky thing. Maybe that's the shot that I should try and learn next.
Exactly. No one would be expecting it, that's for sure. I've noticed that. Like, Lucas is obviously really, really good. Mitch, training with Mitch quite a lot. He's quite unpredictable off the backhand. Speed up. So
noticed that at nationals, it was working really well.
Yeah, definitely, really a really good play to have on your sleeve. But like I remember Ben Johns talking about it, saying like he practiced it for 6 months before he brought it out in the tournament. Like it's obviously something that's not easy to get your head around. You need obviously really high reps on it. Yeah. Cool. All right, that's good insights. And Katy, what are you working on with your game at the moment?
Yeah, so unfortunately I've been injured the last 4 weeks, but before a bit of a break, I've been really pushing that one-handed flick out of the air. Obviously, I can do my two-hander, I can roll cross, I can speed up two-hander, and I can dink one hand out of the air fine. So it's working on my timing of taking that one-hander out of the air and taking it down the line. Down the line was not, on my backhand was never like my super confident shot in tennis. I always like to go cross-court with it, but we know in pickleball, line is a better spot to attack. You're close to that player, they've got less time. You're going to get them more jammed up if you go straight down the line. So I've been working on that a lot, and a bit more on my third shot drives. My drops I feel real confident with, and I think I spent so long at the start of my playing career focusing on drops and dinks that I actually lost my tennis world of drives and those sort of things from the baseline, to be honest, because for the first year you never really used them. Drives are becoming way more common now, but they never used to be, especially when we started here in Australia. Obviously, paddles are coming faster, the sport's coming faster, so I think it's going to become more vital to be able to use drives and drops in your third shots.
Yeah, interesting. So just on your backhand flick, I've noticed that's something that I think it's probably one of the weaker points in you'd say women's doubles, right? Like a lot of the players I've noticed don't have that. A lot of girls have two-handed backhands, so they're probably, first of all, using one probably feels foreign, and then being able to flick it as well is obviously even harder. Are you seeing that as being a bit of a point of difference for you in your game versus a lot of the other girls that are playing?
I think it's been helping me a lot more in especially mixed, to be honest, than women's. But like, I've been working on it for a couple months now, and I only really bring it out if we're up in a game. So I don't think it's affected my games in a way that's helping me succeed because I'm still not confident in it. But when I do it, I've had a high success rate of doing it because I think I've got the timing right of it. I just need to feel the confidence of when to do it. Otherwise, I feel like I'm sitting on the timing of my backhand flick right.
Yeah. And it's interesting what you're saying about drives because with my game, I sort of started out driving everything. Now I'm trying to move the other way, but I noticed there is, like, even in the pro game, there is the ratio of drives and drops off the thirds. In a lot of matches at 50-50, like you're seeing a lot of variety there. What sort of locations do you look at with a third shot drive?
Yeah, so I always play the right side. It's rare for me to be standing on the baseline on the left side of the court, and most of the time, unless the right side player on the other end is much weaker, I'll still go straight line with my drive. Just it makes me feel more comfortable for that player crashing. I find if I go right and it goes a little too wide, my partner who could be crashing off my drive has more chance of getting past line. So we don't want that to happen. So I'd rather go straight in front of me, let that ball come up to me, or go through the middle to my partner.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. Yeah, good insights there. All right, going back to Danni. You play full time. Do you want to talk us through like what your typical week looks like in terms of training, like and specifically like how much of the time would you play matches and how much of the time would you drill in a regular week?
So generally mornings I'll try, once or twice a week I'll try and get up to Holland Park, hit with Joey or Ben, and that's just drilling. For a while I was going up there almost like 4 or 5 times a week, but I live down in Gold Coast, so it's quite a bit of a drive.
Yeah,
and that's always just drilling, never usually playing matches there. Some days I play 2, sometimes 3 times in a day, and I'll try and organize a group of 4 and have a good like a few matches, play a few games, and just mix around, get that match practice in, especially during the long breaks in between like the 2 seasons. Because it felt like there was hardly any competitions during that time. I felt a little bit short of proper match practice. I think if you have a good group of 4, it's worth it just playing matches, not drilling so much. Other than that, like, I'll try and play almost every single day, and then if I have a break throughout the day and I'm at my house, I'll just do wall drills, just hitting a ball against a wall. I don't want to let you in on the secrets with that, but
yeah, okay.
There's another little thing I do on the wall that I think is pretty recently that I think is starting to help out a lot.
Yeah, nice.
Build
So
strength.
going old school, like on the practice wall.
Yeah, literally, like pretty much only doing hands on the wall. That's like all you do. You only need to do it like 5-10 minutes in a day, and like gives a good burn. And then sometimes I'll just practice like speed up off the ground, and then like a 1-2 kind of just a little bit of that. Kind of have fun with it. Chuck some music in like my ears and just have a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay, yeah, that's really good insights there. So what would you say the balance would be between like drilling and playing matches on a percentage?
It's pretty like 50-50 for me at the moment. I would like to be drilling more, but it's kind of rare to be able to find people that like just get 2 people and want to drill. Yeah. Like everyone always just wants to play matches, especially if it's like a pretty good crew and like everyone's around. But lately I've been drilling a little bit more. Found a few partners that just want to hit and just like practice and really get the basics down, because that's just get reps. Because like in a match you don't really get to dink like 100 balls cross court, 100 balls cross court the other way, or practice really specific stuff. And then also gym as well. Try and gym 3 to 5 times a week. Depending on tournaments and stuff like that. Just making sure I don't get injured, and then also keeping strength. I think that's one of the things that I have that maybe some people, it's like a little thing that I think I have an advantage in. It's just having that strength and doing powerlifting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, the powerlifting's like, the benefits of powerlifting.
Yeah. It feels like
athleticism,
massive.
Injury prevention. Yeah, it's huge.
I don't usually get sore at tournaments either now.
Yeah.
Which is like, I feel like I'm just like, oh, I'm superhuman. It's great. It's like, oh, I'm running around all day and I'm not sore.
What's your best power lift?
Deadlift.
Body weight? 1 rep?
1 rep. I was at 130.
130.
130
Nice.
for a while. I don't know if I do that anymore.
Yeah.
I've not really been doing one rep maxes in a while. Stick to my sets of 5.
Yeah.
Sets of 5.
Yep.
I don't need to be ego lifting.
Yeah.
In tournament season.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want to do that.
No.
For sure. It's good. Yeah, really good insights. And Katy, talk us through your training plan.
Yeah, so I'm not full-time training yet. I still do 30 hours of tennis coaching a week, and I'm studying at the moment. So I fit in what I can, and I think I'm probably closer to like 60-70% drilling to my playing practice. I've always preferred drilling, and I can get out there with one other person at like 5 a.m. before I go to work, and then I find I'll usually play in the middle of the day with a group, and that's sort of how I balance my days between tennis, because obviously doing that much tennis you're still gonna undrill some bad habits. I have a lot of bad habits from tennis still, so I think I prefer the drilling. It helps me feel more confident going into a tournament, especially close to a tournament. I'll probably pick up my drilling and drop my matches, to be honest. And then during the, like Danny said, during the off season, I'll play a few more matches because there's more people around. More people also want to play, and then yeah, when I'm coming close to a tournament, I'll do a lot of drills.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it sounds like you guys in sort of that southeast Queensland area, you've got quite a few options on getting groups of 4 together.
Yeah.
I know it's one of our challenges, like in Sydney, is getting 4 people together, particularly like during the day or even night time. A lot of the courts are booked out. Like it's a real challenge.
Yeah, I think we're quite lucky in Queensland. Like, there's always going to be someone down to hit, whether it's 2 of yous or 4 of yous.
Yep.
You'll be able to find people most days, Saturday, Sunday, during the week. So, especially during the middle of the day, there's good options for us, given the fact that it's usually work hours. So it's really useful having that to train with.
Yeah, nice. Good stuff. Well, hey, just wanted to say thanks, girls. It's been awesome talking with you, and look forward to maybe we might play a few matches this weekend.
Yeah.
See how we go.
It's great having a chat.
All right.